A part-time job in an old mansion uncovers a death buried for centuries. The film begins by showing a woman named Sheay, who experiences a recurring nightmare about strange visions of a little girl running through a sugarcane field and a mysterious door with a red handle. The dream appears night after night, leaving Sheay confused as to why she keeps seeing the same thing over and over again. After waking up, Sheay immediately prepares for her online class. She is a college student, majoring in African American history, a field that studies the history and experiences of people of African descent in America, including how they endured slavery, fought for civil rights, and contributed culturally and socially to the United States. Currently, Sheay lives with her best friend Jasmine.
Still pending? Well, don't worry. Because we are big broke.
She has no family left since her mother passed away. To support herself, Sheay studies while working part-time. However, because her current job doesn't pay much, she plans to find a better paying position as a babysitter. One day, Sheay receives a job offer from a woman named Kate who needs someone to look after her children.
Sheay? Oh, I'm so glad I called.
So, which listing were you?
I see that your rate is between $15 and $20.
Kate lives in a large family house that once belonged to the old Hopkins plantation. Hearing that name, Sheay feels uneasy because she has learned in her studies that the Hopkins plantation has a dark history of African slavery. Kate explains that the plantation has long been inactive and is now just a regular home. At first, Sheay hesitates to accept the job, but Kate immediately offers to pay her $200 and even cover her transportation costs. So all Sheay needs to do is show up. Since the job seems easy and the pay is generous, Sheay eventually agrees to work as a babysitter at Kate's home. Sheay takes a taxi to get there, and upon arriving at the property, she notices old graves belonging to former slaves.
So get paid $200.
How do we know she's not a...
You guys are loud. Expectations, you know.
How so?
Kate warmly welcomes her, along with her children, Andrew, Chase, and Blair.
Inside now!
Can you just...
Let me show you the house.
Kate then gives Sheay a tour of the house, introducing each room while explaining that she recently moved there to take care of her sick mother.
Nice to meet you, Blair.
Crafts project, it keeps the kids busy.
Kate reluctantly brought her children to live there so she could care for her mother properly. However, as her mother's condition worsened, she had to be moved to the hospital. Because Kate often visits the hospital to look after her mother, she needs Sheay to take care of her children while she's away.
Just the mood.
Not really a great sleeper either, so...
Inside the house, there are many old belongings inherited from Kate's grandparents and great-grandparents who were white slave owners on the Hopkins plantation. There are also photos of them displayed throughout the house. Kate reassures Sheay not to worry, saying that she's nothing like her ancestors who once committed those terrible acts.
These belong to my great-granduncle.
I'm an African American studies major. His wife?
After that, Kate immediately gave Sheay an advance payment and told her she could start babysitting the children the next day. If there was ever an emergency, Kate said she would call Sheay right away. Sheay then headed home, driven by a taxi driver named Patrick. Once she arrived, Sheay began searching for information about the Hopkins plantation.
I thought you weren't taking that job for you, Sheay, but I cannot watch you go down.
Its history intrigued her deeply, especially since it was related to her college major. However, strangely, she couldn't find any historical records about the plantation anywhere. Since it was already late at night, Sheay decided to go to bed. Once again, she had the same recurring nightmare that had been haunting her for days. She suddenly woke up when Kate called her in the middle of the night. Kate begged Sheay to come to her house immediately because her mother was in critical condition and about to pass away. Kate had to rush to the hospital, leaving no one to look after her children. That's why she urgently asked Sheay to come over. At first, Sheay hesitated since it was already late, but when Kate offered her an additional $500, Sheay became interested. The amount was too good to pass up, so without much thought, she decided to go. Before leaving, Sheay told Jasmine she was going to Kate's house. Jasmine tried to stop her, warning that something bad might happen. Still, Sheay didn't want to miss the opportunity and insisted on going. Jasmine asked her to call once she arrived safely. Without wasting any more time, Sheay went to Kate's house, again driven by Patrick.
So you're actually gonna spend the night there?
Thank you for coming.
When she arrived, Kate quickly invited her inside and explained a bit about Andrew, who often woke up at 3 a.m. because of nightmares. Kate asked Sheay to take good care of Andrew and Chase while she was away, then hurried off to the hospital.
Snacks. Would you like a water? I didn't want to wake them up, so if they do wake up, just here is their morning routine. No devices before.
Not long after being alone in the house, strange things began to happen. The lights flickered by themselves. As Sheay was walking around, she heard Blair screaming in pain. It turned out Blair was washing her hands with hot water. When Sheay asked why, Blair said her mother had told her to wash her hands after touching Sheay. Sheay froze for a moment. Kate had already left, so who had told Blair to do that? Not wanting to dwell on it, Sheay gently led Blair back to her room. Shortly after, Jasmine called to check on her. Sheay admitted she felt uneasy and thought there was something strange about the house. In the middle of their conversation, Shay's internet connection suddenly became unstable, and at that exact moment she heard a woman screaming somewhere in the house.
She said something weird. There you go. Jess?
Sheay quickly ended the call and went to look for the source of the sound. She was startled to find Andrew awake, frightened by another nightmare.
You want to talk about it? No, she went to go check on your grandma.
Sheay comforted him, explaining that his mother wasn't home and that she would take care of them for now. After putting him back to bed, Sheay opened her laptop again to continue researching the Hopkins plantation. While she was doing that, Jasmine texted her, asking for a photo. Sheay took a quick selfie, but something strange happened right after, and suddenly she woke up. It had all been just another dream. Then Andrew came to Sheay, asking her to make him something to eat. After preparing the meal, Andrew showed Sheay an old photo album containing pictures of his great-grandparents. In one of the photos, Sheay discovered that the true name of the Hopkins plantation was actually the Mangham plantation. Sheay immediately shared this discovery with Jasmine.
Right. Sorry.
While searching for a spoon, Sheay found a red door handle inside one of the drawers. Andrew instantly asked about it. The handle looked exactly like the one Sheay kept seeing in her dreams. Strangely, Andrew said he also often dreamed about the same red door handle. Suddenly, all the lights in the house went out for no apparent reason, and they both sensed an eerie presence surrounding them. When Sheay looked back, the door handle she had placed on the table had mysteriously disappeared. Seeing Andrew terrified, Sheay quickly took him back to his room. Worried about the others, Sheay went to check on Blair, who seemed perfectly fine. Blair then invited Sheay to play with her. But things took a terrifying turn when the bedroom door suddenly opened by itself. Frightened, Blair pulled Sheay into the closet to hide. Trembling, Blair whispered that her mother had woken up and was coming to catch Sheay, and if she did, both Sheay and Blair would be killed. Her words left Sheay utterly confused. Kate was supposed to be at the hospital, so who was this mother Blair was talking about? When no one came, Sheay cautiously stepped out of the closet. But out of nowhere, her hair was yanked violently by an unseen force, dragging her down the stairs until she hit a hidden door beneath them. The red door handle she'd found earlier turned out to be the key to unlocking that secret room. Terrified and in shock, Sheay decided she had to get out of the house. But bizarrely, every exit, doors and windows alike, shut themselves tight, as if something was trying to keep her trapped inside. Sheay tried calling 911 for help, but her phone signal was too weak to connect. her panic, she remembered Andrew, Chase, and Blair and rushed to check on them. She found Andrew and Chase hiding inside a closet, refusing to come out because they were terrified of the entity hunting Sheay. She told them to stay hidden while she looked for a way out. As she searched the house, the unseen presence attacked her again, but she barely managed to escape. At that moment, Jasmine called to check on her. Sheay tried to explain what was happening, but the poor signal made her words nearly impossible to understand.
Hello, Sheay.
Realizing something was terribly wrong and that Sheay was likely in danger, Jasmine decided to rush over to her location immediately. In the darkness of the house, Sheay was once again terrorized by the ghostly figure of a woman in a black dress. She soon realized that the apparition looked exactly like the woman in the old photograph, the original owner of the house. Not long after Patrick arrived at Kate's house, intending to return an item Sheay had accidentally left in his car. But before he could help her, the ghostly woman appeared and brutally killed him.
Sheay!
Sheay quickly ran to hide in Kate's bedroom, where she found Blair hiding under the bed. The two of them stayed hidden there as the ghostly woman approached the room. Overcome with fear, Blair panicked and bolted out of the room, the ghost chasing her down the hallway. Sheay followed, trying to help Blair, but by the time she reached the bottom of the stairs, Blair had already disappeared. She seemed to have hidden inside the secret room beneath the staircase. With the ghost wandering nearby, Sheay took the chance to grab a weapon to defend herself. Soon after, she found Andrew, who had come out of his hiding spot. Sheay quickly led him to a safer place. There, Andrew explained that the ghostly woman often appeared and roamed the house, repeating the same disturbing actions every time she manifested. The reason he always woke up at 3 a.m. was because of her. However, since Sheay had arrived, the spirit's behavior had grown more aggressive than ever before. According to Andrew, the ghost was furious about Shay's presence in the house. Sheay then realized that the spirit might be trapped in a supernatural loop, perhaps unable to accept her own death, causing her to linger as if she were still alive. Sheay decided they needed to return to his room, but on the way, she ran into Jasmine, who had just arrived.
Sheay, what the? Jazz. She killed him.
Sheay frantically told her to leave the house immediately, warning that it was too dangerous. The ghostly woman began moving toward Jasmine. Fearing for her friend's safety, Sheay grabbed her weapon and struck the ghost, but it was only an illusion. The ghost had tricked her into stabbing Jasmine instead. Horrified, Sheay tried to save Jasmine and dragged her out of the house, but the front door suddenly slammed shut, as if the ghost refused to let Sheay escape. Unbeknownst to her, Chase had witnessed the stabbing. Terrified, he believed Sheay had murdered Jasmine and ran to hide in the secret room beneath the stairs, where Andrew was also hiding.
Where's Blair?
Sheay grew desperate when she realized Blair wasn't with them. She tried to calm Chase down and convince him she meant no harm. Then her phone rang. It was Kate. Sheay, shaken and terrified, explained what was happening. The haunting, the ghostly woman in black, and that both Andrew and Chase were safe for the moment. However, she admitted she couldn't find Blair anywhere and apologized for failing to protect her. Her words left Kate confused. She told Sheay that she didn't have a daughter named Blair. The revelation struck Sheay like lightning, leaving her completely stunned. Suddenly, Blair appeared before Sheay, her body covered in wounds.
We have to hide.
Get away.
In her trembling hands, she held an old photograph showing her family together with an African-descended girl named Abigail. At that moment, the truth was revealed. Blair had actually died long ago. The mother she had mentioned earlier wasn't Kate at all, but the ghostly woman in the black dress. The reason Blair had been kind to Sheay was that Sheay was the reincarnation of her childhood friend, Abigail. This explained why Shay's nightmares were visions of the past, fragments of memories from her previous life. The scene then shifted into a flashback from hundreds of years ago to the time when Blair was still alive. Blair was the daughter of a widowed woman named Emily, the owner of the same house. Emily's husband had died in the war, leaving her to take over as head of the household. She ran a sugarcane plantation and employed many enslaved people of African descent, including Abigail's parents. Emily despised her slaves and was known for brutally torturing and killing them without mercy. Unlike her cruel mother, Blair was kind-hearted and loved playing with the enslaved children. She formed a deep friendship with Abigail. To spend time together without getting caught, Blair usually waited until Emily had fallen asleep before sneaking Abigail into the house to play. But one night, Emily caught them together. Enraged, she dragged Abigail into the room with the red-handled door, a secret chamber Emily used for torturing, imprisoning, and killing African slaves. As punishment for defying her, Emily chained Abigail's body and forced an iron mask over her head, inflicting unbearable pain. Moments later, Blair secretly came to rescue her friend. She told Abigail that a group of enslaved Africans, a resistance known as the Slave Liberation Group, was coming soon to free them all. These enslaved people, furious at Emily's cruelty, had formed an underground alliance to capture her and end her reign of terror once and for all. Blair quickly urged Abigail to escape with her, while Emily, unaware that Blair had fled with the girl, went into a furious rage and began slaughtering all the enslaved people she had imprisoned. During the chaos, Abigail managed to escape, but tragically Blair did not. She was accidentally killed by her own mother, Emily, who had mistaken her for someone else. Realizing what she had done, Emily was devastated by Blair's death. Overcome with guilt and grief, she took her own life before the Slave Liberation Group could capture her. However, her tormented soul lingered, filled with hatred toward Abigail, whom she blamed for Blair's death. That rage trapped Emily's spirit in an endless supernatural loop, turning her into a vengeful ghost haunting the house in search of Abigail. Along with Emily, Blair, the enslaved people, and the members of the Liberation Group were also caught in that same cursed cycle. At first, Emily's ghost remained relatively dormant, but everything changed when Sheay arrived. Believing Sheay to be Abigail reincarnated, Emily's spirit grew violent and began hunting her relentlessly. After uncovering the full truth, Sheay came up with a plan to end the curse by ensuring that Emily's spirit would finally be captured by the ghostly Slave Liberation Group, just as they had failed to do in the past. Sheay believed that completing what never happened in life would finally free the trapped souls and end the haunting. Before carrying out her plan, Sheay led Andrew and Chase safely out of the house. Blair then helped her escape by opening the front door. As Sheay stepped outside, the ghostly figure of Emily appeared, moving closer and closer. In her past life, Abigail had run away as soon as she escaped, but this time Sheay stayed behind, determined to give the liberation spirits enough time to capture Emily once and for all. In the end, Shay's plan succeeded. The supernatural cycle was broken, and Emily's ghost was finally taken away, unable to haunt the house any longer. Moments later, Kate arrived and embraced Andrew and Chase with relief. Meanwhile, Jasmine, though severely injured, was still alive and waiting for the paramedics to arrive. In the final scene, the spirits of Blair and the enslaved souls appeared one last time, smiling gratefully at Sheay for freeing them from the curse. Now, at last, they could rest peacefully in the afterlife, and the story came to an end.